Hello everyone, and welcome back to Turkish series stars. Settle in, because today we're diving into a question that has kept timelines buzzing, fan pages on high alert, and the comment sections absolutely on fire. We're unpacking the shared secret of Erkan Meriç and Hazal Subaşı, the thing they guard so carefully, the thing everyone feels but no one can quite name. There's been whispering, there's been decoding of captions, there's been late-night speculation, and it's time to lay out everything we know, everything we suspect, and everything we can reasonably connect. If you love a mystery, if you're obsessed with this couple, or if you just enjoy well-sourced tea, you're going to want to stay with us until the end. Before we lift the curtain, make sure you're subscribed to Turkish series stars and that you've turned on notifications, so you don't miss any of our deep dives. We bring you the stories behind the stories, and today might be our juiciest yet. Let's begin where it all started with Erkan and Hazal. For anyone catching up, we're talking about two names that have long since crossed the borders of Turkey and entered the global conversation. Their rise wasn't a quiet one, it was a leap. Their paths collided on the set of Adini Sinkoy, You Name It to many international fans, a series that took daytime drama and turned it into a phenomenon with reruns, edits, fan compilations, and translations that reached viewers everywhere. Their on-screen chemistry caught fire instantly, the kind you don't simply direct, it happens, and when it does, everyone feels it. As it so often goes in the world where fiction meets reality, that spark didn't stay in the script. It stepped off the set, into real life, and suddenly, we weren't just watching a couple on screen, we were following one off it. They made it official in 2017, a year that fans now talk about like a chapter title. One wedding, discreet yet unforgettable. One couple that seemed to be walking into a storybook ending with cameras following them from a respectful distance. The adoration came quickly, billboards, magazine covers, trending tags, and a fandom that felt both protective and proud. They weren't just another pair in the spotlight. They became the couple people pointed to when asked whether on-screen love can ever survive the spotlight. But lately, the conversation has tilted. Not toward scandals or bad blood, there's nothing concrete suggesting betrayal or chaos. The mystery here is quieter and, in many ways, more compelling. It's the sense that Erkan and Hazal share something they're deliberately not placing on the front row. An understanding. A pact. A plan. The secret, if we can even call it that, floats around two things, their partnership and their professional choices. On one side, you've got a chorus of voices asking the same question, when will Erkan and Hazal headline a project together again? Both are in demand, both are bankable, both command fierce loyalty from their audiences. If you think about the reaction to Adini Sinkoy, imagine what a reunion would do in prime time or in a big-budget digital series. The international press would go wild, streaming platforms would clear their schedules, and the industry would brace for a storm. And yet, nothing official. Not yet. The silence is loud enough to be a strategy. So we get theories. One persistent whisper is that they have an unspoken agreement not to overshadow one another. That they want to prove their strength as leads independently, to avoid being typed as a package deal, to show range without leaning back into the familiar comfort of their shared past. Another take says it's all brilliant marketing, maximize the waiting, raise the stakes, let anticipation mature until the announcement lands like a thunderclap. Can you picture it? A poster drops without warning, two names side by side, the first teaser hitting 1 million views before lunch. If that's the plan, it's working. Then there's the more tender part of the story, the one their true fans talk about with softness, family. They became parents a little while ago, quietly, carefully, with a level of protection that tells you everything about their priorities. No pageant of oversharing. No turning precious moments into content. Just glimpses. A stray balloon in a corner of a photo. A caption that reads longer than it looks. A look exchanged during an interview that says, "We know what matters." If you've noticed a shift in their calendars, a selective approach to projects, that could explain it. Maybe they've paused on a joint production because this season of life asks for presents. Or maybe parenthood has sharpened their vision, and the next project they do together will say something bigger than romance or nostalgia. Maybe it will say something about legacy. How do they manage it, though? How do they appear steady when lesser relationships buckle under the weight of expectation? Here, we can only infer. Maybe they communicate with brutal honesty. Maybe they've learned how to draw the line and defend it, leaving enough room between public and private to breathe. Maybe they've built rituals around the life they do not share online. Or maybe the answer is simpler than all of that, love that's not for show, the kind that doesn't need an audience. Their individual careers are another clue. Erkan has been taking roles that double down on range, stoic heroes, quiet romantics, men with shadows and secrets. He's polished his craft to a shine, letting work speak louder than hype. Hazal, on her side, has leaned into versatility with fearless choices, urban dramas, intense character studies, and women who refuse to be predictable. The result? Two artists who can both carry a story from opening frame to final credits, whose names alone sell a pitch. Which leads us back to the same question, where does a reunion fit in amid such carefully built solo trajectories? You don't need us to tell you that social media is the battlefield. Fans track everything. A sudden follow. An old photo resurfacing in stories. A heart under a post that could be seen as a professional nod or something more. A selfie in a trailer with a book visible just enough to be a hint. It's detective work, and while nothing has been officially confirmed, the appetite for a shared project has not cooled. If anything, it's gotten hotter. The vibe now is less, will they? And more, when will they? We can't ignore the machinery behind the scenes, agents, producers, platforms. The rumor mill says there have been offers, serious ones, with budgets to match the expectations. But timing is everything. Maybe there's a script waiting to be refined. Maybe a project needs that one director who understands exactly how to set their chemistry on fire without repeating old beats. The choices are intriguing. An epic historical saga with vast sets and silks that whisper in the torchlight. A contemporary thriller that puts them on opposite sides of a moral cliff. A character-driven romance that dares to be quiet in a loud world. Even a genre jump, a speculative drama, a touch of the surreal? Something to crack open their range and light it up. And yes, there's the reality of the industry. Contracts like puzzles, schedules that move like trains, development processes that take longer than fans would ever guess. The secrecy here may not be a game but a necessity. A lot of magic is made in the space where nobody's looking. That's not cagey, that's craft. We also have to talk about privacy as a choice. In an era that rewards exposure with currency, refusing to trade your life for likes is a radical move. It keeps the audience focused on the work. It protects the people who never asked to be famous just because they are loved by two very famous people. It keeps character and actor separate, making performances cleaner, more believable. It's not hiding. It's choosing. So when a joint project happens, what would you want to see? A return to the very flavor that made the world fall for them in a Dini Sen Koi, that slow-burn tenderness that made fans cry at 3 a.m.? Or something that shocks the system, that pushes past nostalgia into uncharted territory? It's the uncertainty that keeps everyone on the edge of their seats. The not knowing is part of the thrill. If we had to put a name to the shared secret of Erkan and Hazal, it would be this: intention. Intention to guard their home, intention to honor their careers as individuals, intention to wait for a story worthy of their reunion. It's a strategy, yes, but it's also a love language. And it's working. They've built a tension that doesn't feel like a stunt. It feels like respect for each other, for the audience, for the work. To wrap up, here's where we land. The mystery isn't a scandal. It's not a fracture. It's a choice to be measured when the world wants immediate answers. It's a calendar penciled in with care. It's two people taking turns at the spotlight without losing sight of where they began together. The secret, then, is the art of pacing. Of living on purpose. Of refusing to let noise write the script. And that's our deep dive into the enigma of Erkan Meriç and Hazal Subaşı, a couple that continues to fascinate, not because they're chaotic, but because they're calm. Thank you for watching all the way through on Turkish series stars. We want to hear what you think. What do you believe the Erkan-Hazal equation is holding back for the perfect moment? Do you buy the theory that they've promised each other not to rush a reunion? Or are you convinced there's a signed script sitting in a locked drawer right now? Drop your theories in the comments. We read, we reply, we debate, and we love the passion this community brings. If you enjoyed this video, give it a like, share it with your fellow fans who have been waiting for an update, and make sure you're subscribed with notifications on so you never miss what's next. Whatever happens, one thing's for sure, when Erkan and Hazal finally step onto the same set again, the world will be watching. Until then, remember, sometimes the quietest love stories make the loudest echoes, and the best chapters are the ones written when nobody's looking.